As of December 2024, South Korean President Yoonsukyeol is in deep trouble. He's been impeached and barred from leaving the country, and he may even face treason charge, which is punishable by death. But to be fair, Yoon isn't exactly breaking new ground here. Almost all 13 presidents in South Korean history have faced tragic endings. Suicide, military coup, assassination, impeachment, imprisonment, you name it. There's even a popular urban legend that the presidential residence is cursed. Let's go through the endings of all South Korea's presidents, one by one. The first president of South Korea is Lee Sun-man. He received a PhD from Princeton, but instead of settling into academia, he returned to Korea and courageously joined the independence movement. When Japanese occupiers left in 1945 and Korea was split in two, Lee emerged as the leader of South Korea. Lee led the country through the Korean War and post-war reconstruction. But in 1960, mass protests forced him to resign. But that wasn't enough. The protesters wanted his head. He was only saved when the CIA flew a helicopter to evacuate him. He spent the rest of his life in exile. Not exactly an auspicious start for the line of South Korean presidents. Yoon Bo-sun, the second president, was elected shortly after his predecessor fled. But just a few months later, the army launched a coup and took control of the government. President number 3, Park Geunhye, was the army general who led the coup. He ruled Korea with an iron fist for 18 years, from 1962 to 1979. The Korean people have very polarized views on his reign. On one hand, he's the one who kickstarted South Korea's miraculous economic growth. It may be hard to imagine, but until his rule, North Korea was actually richer than the South. But his reign was also marked by the suppression of civil freedoms and widespread corruption between the government and large conglomerates. In October 1979, Park was assassinated by a close friend. An unfortunate ending. And his daughter would later become another president of South Korea. And she would also meet a tragic ending, also because of a close friend. The fourth president, Choi Gu-ha, was elected after Park's assassination. But in less than a month, a military coup reduced him to a puppet. President number 5, John Du-hwan, was the army leader of that coup. He was a big admirer of President Park and also ruled as a dictator. However, he wasn't nearly as charismatic or capable. In December 1987, facing mass protests, he passed the presidency to his protege, No Tae-woo, president number 6. Both John and No were later convicted of corruption as well as their roles in the military coup. John was given a life sentence. No was sentenced to 17 years in prison. The 7th president was Kim Yong-sam, and the 8th was Kim Dae-jung. They were Korea's first truly democratically elected presidents. Besides sharing the same family name, both had similar post-presidential fates. Their children went to prison on corruption charges. Roh Moo-hyun was president number 9, serving from 2003 to 2008. His life was a story of hope and tragedy. He was born into a poor family and couldn't afford university. However, through self-study, he passed Korea's notoriously difficult bar exam and became a human rights lawyer. His presidency saw growth in South Korea's economy and improved relations with North Korea. Given that many of his predecessors were embroiled in corruption, No made a point to live a frugal life and purposely distance himself from large conglomerates. After retiring, he returned to his home village to run a dog farm. Unfortunately, even though President No was personally unapproachable, some of his close associates gave in to temptation. A few were indicted on bribery charges. On May 23, 2009, a depressed No took his own life by jumping off a cliff. More than 4 million people visited his village in the weeks following his death. Today, he is often voted as one of Korea's best presidents. President number 10, Lee Myung-bak, also came from humble beginnings. But unlike his predecessor No, who intentionally distanced himself from large conglomerates, Lee was very much a product of these conglomerates. He spent 3 decades at Hyundai, eventually becoming chairman of Hyundai Construction. After leaving the presidential office, Lee was arrested on charges of bribery, embezzlement, and tax evasion. He was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Parkgeunhye succeeded Lee as president number 11. She's the daughter of Parkgeunhye, president number 3. The most memorable part of her presidency was probably her problematically close relationship with her bestie, Choi Sun-sil, a businesswoman who also happens to be the daughter of a cult leader. Basically, President Park shared state secrets with her best friend and even asked for her advice on major state matters. In December 2016, Park was impeached. A few months later, she was charged with abuse of power, bribery, coercion, and leaking state secrets. Okay, we're almost done. President number 12, Moon Jae-in, served from 2017 to 2022. So far, his post-presidency has been largely peaceful. He hasn't been deposed or killed or imprisoned, and his children haven't gone to prison yet. Just when Koreans started to think that the feng shui curse on their president is ending, we have President number 13, the current president, yoonsukyeol. Well, it's still an unfolding story, but he's already been impeached and might even face death penalty for treason. Oof, that's a depressing list. The question is, why, in a highly developed economy with a well-functioning democracy, do Korean presidents all end so badly? Is it really a feng shui curse on the presidential palace? Or is there something deeper going on? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you find it interesting, please click the like button and subscribe for more in the future. Thank you.